The best is still yet to come.
And a lot of us are like that. We're looking for the answer outside of ourselves when the answer lies within.
Maximum performance is the holy grail of modern business. Everyone wants to encourage achievement, to increase sales, expand creativity, improve customer service, create opportunity, both personally and professionally, to redefine work and life around success. Yet many people are unable to master the proven self-empowerment tools and time-tested performance strategies that are the basis for outstanding achievement. These principles have been closely guarded secrets of the world's greatest achievers until now. Jack Canfield, America's success coach, taking you from where you are to where you want to be.
And we were ecstatic. We thought, wow, we're going to have our dream finally come true. It had taken over a year to get that book sold. And we said to the publisher, how many copies do you think you'll sell? He said, oh, we'll be lucky to sell 20,000 copies. We said, that's not our dream. Our dream is 150,000 copies by Christmas, because this was July when it came out, and 1.5 million, 1.5 million books by the end of the year, so a year and a half. Now, have you ever shared your dream with someone, like when you said, I'm going to become a party-like consultant, and had someone actually laugh out loud at you? Yeah. Well, our publisher laughed out loud at us. He said, that's impossible. Well, we did sell 135,000 by Christmas and 1.3 million within a year and a half. And that book went on to sell 8.5 million copies in America and 10 million copies around the world, and spawned this series that we now have called Chicken Soup for the Soul.
Jack Canfield is an internationally recognized leader in personal development and peak performance strategies. Jack created the definitive method to help people create breakthrough results in everything they do. Jack Canfield is the man behind the empire Time magazine called the publishing phenomenon of the decade. As the originator of the New York Times #1 best-selling book series, Chicken Soup for the Soul, he created a literary genre that has grown into a billion-dollar market. Jack has appeared on more than 800 media outlets, including Oprah, 2020, Inside Edition, The Today Show, Fox & Friends, NBC Nightly News, and countless syndicated radio programs. He's been featured in various nationally recognized magazines and publications, and his syndicated column is read in over 150 newspapers worldwide. As CEO of Chicken Soup for the Soul Enterprises, his brand has a global reach. With over 100 million books sold, Jack Canfield is uniquely qualified to talk about success. His newest book, The Success Principles, How to Get From Where You Are to Where You Want to Be, contains dozens of the most powerful secrets to success used by top achievers from all walks of life. Jack Canfield, America's success coach, taking you from where you are to where you want to be.
And without maximum confidence, you can't succeed. It's like poker chips. Here we are in Las Vegas. If you go where they play poker, been watching these celebrity poker games on TV, and everyone starts and they have money, and then some people lose, and eventually somebody wins like $1 million, right? But you have to have chips in order to play. And what happens is your self-esteem, your confidence is like poker chips, and some of you have big stacks. You just try anything, because if you lose, big deal. It's like we're playing poker. How many of you have ever driven your car with the emergency brake on? Can I see a show of hands? Do you do what I used to do, which is just push harder on the gas to overcome the drag on the brake? No, what we do is we release the brake and the car goes faster with no additional gas or effort. And that's really what I see, the kind of work I do, which is we remove the block so the natural essence of who you are comes forward without effort. In fact, it gets easier. And too often we're working outside instead of inside. There's an old story of a man looking for a key under a street lamp, and someone comes and says, what are you doing? He said, I'm looking for my key, I lost it. He says, well, I'll help you. And he gets down on the ground there looking and looking and looking, and all of a sudden the guy says, man, we've been looking for a half hour. I don't see the key. You sure you lost it here? He said, oh no, I lost it in my house, but there's more light out here under the street lamp. And a lot of us are like that. We're looking for the answer outside of ourselves when the answer lies within.
Can I see by a show of hands how many of you have read a Chicken Soup for the Soul book? Wow. Isn't that amazing? One of the things we did at the end of that first book, we said, if you have a story, send it in. Maybe we'll do a sequel. We had no idea that we would end up doing 101 books, but people like you sent in stories. We started getting 300 to 500 stories a day, and literally out of that grew this series of 101 books. And then we did a book called Chicken Soup for the Dental Soul. Can you imagine? All stories that take place in dental offices, and again, a different mother, a different daughter, they go to the dentist. She just lost her first tooth. And the dentist looks at this little 6-year-old and says, I see you've lost your first tooth. She says, uh-huh. Did you put it under the pillow for the tooth fairy? She said, uh-huh. Did the tooth fairy come? She said, uh-huh. Did she leave you any money? She says, uh-huh. How much? She said, $2. She said, wow, that's a lot of money for a little girl. When I was a kid, the tooth fairy only left like maybe a dime or a quarter. She said, I know. And she said, I know something else too. She said, what's that? She said, I know what the tooth fairy looks like. She said, get out of here. I've been a dentist for 30 years. I've never seen a tooth fairy. Tell me, what does the tooth fairy look like? She said, just like my mama. Only naked.